Hey folks, welcome in to another big time edition, SIP on SIN's YouTube channel. 439, we are always sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood. How's it going, Billy Boy?
It is going good, my friend. How are you?
I get to rest for a little while, so that's pretty cool.
That's always good.
Nice couple of days off, starting today, so you know.
Oh, Reggie's got some days off.
Yeah, yeah. Very rare having well, I can't say that because I get Mondays off all the time, but having a Tuesday off is interesting. So,
So what, do you just have today and
you know,
tomorrow off?
yeah. I had to work yesterday, so you know, I'll take it.
What you gonna be doing on your days off?
Well, I have bowling tonight. This is my last week of regular season. We have postseason after that, hopefully. Um, and then Tuesday. Probably rest day, catch up on some editing. By the way, we owe you, for all you listeners out there, we owe you a podcast, Friday's podcast, as well as today's show. So, uh, I do apologize for getting behind. But in any case, um, other than that, the weekend was good. Weekend was very good. I took a peek at Jets Giants. I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
Again, preseason, I don't give a shit about
Yeah,
because
me neither. And you know what? When you were saying weekend stuff, I barely did anything this weekend, which was my first time in a couple weeks, over a month that I had nothing planned on a weekend.
you know what? Sometimes you need that moment to refresh your mind a little bit. That's actually not terrible. You
And I
know,
had to, yeah, my girlfriend was working this weekend. I
right?
had to I had to do some stuff around the house.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was
yes,
just weird. It was like this was my first time in a while. I had nothing to do this weekend.
yeah. And like I said, sometimes you just need. You know, I always get jealous of people when they're like, "Oh, well, this weekend I'm just gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna have a lazy weekend." And so I know that's
Today
not
I
what
don't feel like doing anything.
the lazy song Bruno Mars. But in any case, I know that's not how you described it, Bill. But you get my point. Sometimes you just need that refresher. You need
Oh
to
yeah, absolutely.
chill out, chill out. Get some wings, get some pizza, or get some Chinese food for you New Yorkers out there. Um, Latin cuisine for those of you Hispanics out there. Popcorn and just chill out. Heck, I
If you
just got my
drink,
own.
maybe a couple cold ones.
Exactly. I just got a Netflix account, so I'm gonna abuse that Netflix account, uh, and all that. So
Use it.
yeah, it's gonna be great. In any case, good weekend for the baseball teams. Thank you, New York Mets, for
We
winning the two
actually,
games against. Yeah, and then the Yankees swept the Cardinals. Thanks to the
yeah.
Mets for winning their two games, we actually crept up on the Mariners, and because of the Boston going down a little bit, trending downwards, we able to gain on them as well. So this is exactly what I mean. You look, the American League, yes, there's good teams in the American League, but far weaker than the National League. Because the National League, they got a lot of strong suits. No matter how many games that these teams win, there's some of them are still way behind. The Yankees have been in free fall since June, and yet they still maintain a playoff spot. How the hell is that possible? So we're on the right track, hopefully. We need to stay on the right track.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. We need to stay on the right track. Hopefully, playoffs, question mark.
And I hope so. I mean, there should be no reason why they can't. you know, but I don't know. I'm still very worried. I'm still worried. Um, Ben Rice has looked good. I like his play of late.
I did too.
Goldschmidt had a good Sunday. Judge had a good weekend. I haven't seen Giancarlo lately, so I wonder if he's hurt. Um, so that's a concern because we could use his bat. Um, but yep, good weekend. The New York baseball teams. Uh, the Little League Classic was on Sunday. It featured the Mets and the Mariners, and during that game, we had the ESPN had Rob Manfred on, and for you listening audience, about to play some audio, take a listen onto what he has to say about possible expansion in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
Sorry, I gotta share the screen first for those of you YouTube audience. Here we go. Now you can see.
How about a window into the future? Expansion, realignment, expanded playoffs. I mean,
Yeah,
can you see that down the road?
I can. I think that I think the first two topics are related in my mind. I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel, and I think our postseason format would be even more appealing for entities like ESPN, because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we, sometimes get Boston, Anaheim,
Yes.
would be two West Coast teams, and that 10 o'clock slot that's a problem for us sometimes becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience. So I think, I think the owners realize that there's demand for Major League Baseball in a lot of great cities, and we have an opportunity to do something good around that expansion process.
So, um, essentially what he's talking about there, Bill, not only expanding, but
Yes.
also geographically speaking, realigning the league so that the East Coast teams stay out east and the West Coast teams stay out west. And that there's minimal travel between the two coasts. Um, And then obviously, Manfred talks about the idea of, hey, look, because of that, there could be more marquee matchups on the West Coast side than the matchups on the East Coast side. So there's a lot to take in on that.
When it comes to the
Well,
time zone thing, I actually don't think that's a bad idea.
yeah.
I
Um,
actually don't think that's a bad idea, and here's why, Reg. Because the idea is, Reg, if you if you play if an East Coast team, like what he just said, say Boston and Anaheim, the fans who live in the Massachusetts area, a good chunk of them aren't gonna stay up to 1 in the morning to watch the game.
yeah,
Because the next day they got work, they got school. They're not gonna stay up to 1 in the morning to watch a baseball game.
yeah,
Or like if it was Seattle, New York. People in New York aren't gonna, people on the East Coast aren't gonna stay up to God knows when they have to go to work the next day.
yeah.
So I actually don't think that's a terrible idea, believe it or not.
Yeah, you're essentially bringing up two windows. This is what they do in the NBA. You have two windows, one east, one west. Early, it's out east because you're following the Eastern time zone, and then the late is out west because you're following the Western time zone. Um, and if the teams are good, Bill, then this is a no-brainer because at the very least, teams are good, you have a good matchup of a West Coast team. Yeah, that is more appealing to the West Coast audience. You know, having a Padres Dodgers game as like your 10 o'clock marquee matchup for that night is perfect.
It is.
And it is appealing to a network like ESPN or NBC. You know, I hear Netflix and Apple, they're trying to expand their footing on the sports stuff. I know Apple has that Friday night baseball, but Netflix too, they're all of a sudden a player. So like, yeah, like having I do agree with Rob Manfred that there needs to be change. We're all realizing, and basketball's realizing this too, that it is during the season, it is a regional, the issues are regional. That's the problem, is regionalized across the board. Baseball, basketball, hockey. All of it's regionalized during the regular season. It's not like football where everything can be national and it'll be great. Especially since the football goes week by week and not, oh well, we have 3 games or 5 games per 7 days, you know?
Absolutely.
So we gotta keep that in mind too and all that. I'm glad that Rob Manfred is figuring this out now, but it's too little too late on his tenure. The next commissioner, whoever it is, when he leaves around, was it 2029, he said?
Yes, and I'm
Um,
counting down the days.
yeah, whoever the next commissioner is, they have to get it right. That because there is interest in baseball. Baseball's not dead. Baseball's not dying. It just needs a retool for its national footing. Once you get a retool of its national footing, it should be much easier to sell, market, and everything.
No, absolutely. So I think if you do that regional thing, I would say, yeah, I would say time wise, I think it would work better.
Yeah.
Time wise, it would work better because again, for the East Coast teams who are playing, the East Coast teams who are playing on the West Coast, they're not gonna. People aren't gonna stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like the only time I would say would be acceptable for East Coast teams to be on the West Coast would be the weekends.
See, I agree with you. I actually agree with you
Because
on that.
Friday night, many people don't gotta go to work Saturday. So, keep you can keep the 10 o'clock
But
game for Friday night. Cause
yeah, but for Saturday night, Bill, you can have a game on at 7 o'clock in the East Coast. It'd be 4 o'clock on the West Coast.
well yeah,
That's marquee. That's great.
you could do a 7 o'clock game on you could do a 7 o'clock game on Saturday, or you could do a 4 o'clock game Saturday. Because then
Hmm.
it would be 1 o'clock
Exactly.
in West Coast. While
Yeah.
Sunday, I would say do a 4 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah. Unless
Do
you're Sunday night baseball, which we still don't know where that's going to be next season. But there's so many different avenues you can take with this.
No, like I actually of as much as I cannot stand Rob Manfred, and Reggie can attest to this because he can't stand
Yeah.
him either. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Hmm. Exactly.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Now, geographically, this would obviously mean that the Yankees and the Mets would probably be either in the same division or close to it. I don't know how they're going to do this. I think the way they're going to do it is to have the Yankees and the Mets be in the same division, which for New York standards would up the ante like crazy. You have
Oh,
no
people would
idea.
lose their minds.
Oh
Yankees
my God.
division.
Yes.
Yankees and Mets in the same division. People
Forget
would
it.
New York would be a freaking battleground.
Look, you think the Yankees, you the Yankee fans are not worried about the Mets now? We only worry about them twice a year. Imagine worrying about them the entire season. Oh boy.
Then we would have to play them 4 times a year.
Oh, we'll be choking each other across the New York metropolitan area.
If that would have happened, we'd be fighting with Mark and Mike more often,
Yeah,
wouldn't
and
we?
of course it's not the only time. Look, the Rangers and the Islanders are in the same division. The Nets and the Knicks are in the same division. So or the Devils included, by the way, in that division with the Rangers. So like, look, we already have it in other sports. Geographically, oh boy, it's gonna be wild. Look, we are a baseball town, Billy Boy.
Yes, we are.
Just like Chicago, just like LA. Um, we are a baseball town, just like Boston. It is going to be wild to have the Mets in the same division as us. That is going to be crazy, bro.
So does that mean we're gonna get rid of American League and National League though?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think that's what that they've been flirting around the idea for a while now. And the fact that Rob Manfred said that last night during ESPN's broadcast, it really shows me that the American because they don't really need the American National League anymore because the American National League, those were two separate entities for a long time. They've been merged since the before the turn of the century. So they don't need necessarily to have American League and a National League. You can divide it into an East-West situation, and people will be comfortable with that.
No, I think so. I believe so. It might just be an East versus West thing.
Yeah,
It may just be an East versus West thing.
yeah.
So yeah, that's where we stand right now. Could we be looking at the end of the American League versus National League?
Definitely the end of MLB as we know it. But of course, that again, nothing's probably won't happen. It's probably to the end of the decade, so it won't happen anytime soon. Um, that's the reality. That is the reality of the sport that's happening right now. That is baseball.
Ah, it is.
Crazy, crazy.
Okay, so now we move on to from the diamond to the gridiron.
Diamond to the gridiron.
And we got some breaking news that broke in just when we came on the air.
Of course it did. Oh boy.
The Cleveland Browns starting quarterback this year will be, drum roll please, Joe Flacco.
Old man Joe Flacco. Yeah,
Joe
when that
Flacco will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And you know what makes this more funny? You know who it's not gonna be? You know who it's not gonna be, Reggie Boy?
what?
It's not gonna be Shador Sanders.
Yeah. By the way, sucks for Shador because I know he's hurt. So
Oh yeah, we
um
wish him well.
he had a good first preseason game. He's obviously going to be out for a little while, so I do feel bad on that part. This was going to be the move anyway. There is no way in hell you're going to throw that man out there first week. Roll out with Joe Flacco with the experience. Look, the Browns, I don't know how the Browns are going to be. They'll they'll be mediocre at best, maybe. So, veteran quarterback, let him run the team. Have Shador while he's recovering. Watch how it works in the NFL, and then look, Joe Flacco starts sticking up the joint, and you want to throw in the young guy, and he's healthy enough, then you do it. Eventually, though, I really do think Shador Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback of that Browns team. And you know what? Who cares about Deshaun? Who cares?
And yeah, Watson, he's got his issues. And like, listen, I don't want to laugh at Shador because he's obviously hurt. But
Yeah.
Mel Kiper, you can shut the hell up now. Remember, every 5 seconds. Why haven't they drafted Shador yet? Why hasn't Shador been drafted yet? Mel, my brother in Christ, cut it out. You're now, yeah, again, we wish Shador a speedy recovery,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry. Knowing that Mel Kiper is probably eating crow right now
Yeah.
actually is not a bad feeling.
Well, I mean, first of all, Mel Kiper, one of the legendary draft experts out there. Um, you know, he's hilarious sometimes. You know, God. Can't wait for his draft analysis when the offseason starts. So, all right. Joe Flacco. Week one starter. They'll be facing the Cincinnati Bengals week one. So the Battle of Ohio, that is.
All right, Battle of Ohio.
Yeah. Um, so on to the NFL. We did have preseason over the weekend. Nothing crazy. I know
Oh, we
we
do
see
we left something out. Big story we got to talk about.
right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were say we were going to save the Giants.
No, no, well, I was going to talk Jets and Giants.
Oh no,
Uh,
actually, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wasn't going, but I wasn't going to.
Oh yeah, go. No, I said go ahead. I got no. I
Well,
thought you were going to talk about Jets and Giants. I
yeah,
got
no, yeah, no. I was about to say the preseason continues.
okay.
Um, that's all it was.
Sorry,
Yeah,
buddy.
you're
Sorry
fine.
about that, buddy. Okay. Well, okay. You know what, Reg? Could we go a week where we don't have any controversies? Can we go 1 week without any controversies? Wouldn't that be lovely?
It would be nice.
Remember when our sports podcast was just basically about baseball, when it was just about
Mm,
batting averages and stats and
yeah,
how much we hate Tom Brady? Now we got
yeah,
to talk about potential political issues.
yeah. It's annoying. It's
I miss
annoying
the
to
good old days.
having to talk about this and to make a stupid disclaimer. The Sports Insanity Network presents all the opinions of the network members and all that stuff. They do not reflect the views of everybody. Like, how many times do we have to do that? Like, it's annoying. You know?
We just want to go back to the days when we talked about batting averages and whatever else. But
Because
no, we
look, because Lord knows we can't just leave things alone. Everything has to be controversy. Colin Kaepernick has to be controversy. Why?
maybe because he's had showing respect for the flag.
You know,
And listen, we talked about that years ago.
plenty of times, plenty of times.
Short version, it wasn't about the flag, it wasn't about the troops, it was about bringing an awareness to police brutality.
Yeah,
Okay, but here's a controversy that people welcome, 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 welcome to
Mm,
episode 63 of people getting upset over stupid shit
yeah.
that no one should really lose sleep over. Like, well, what's going on today? The Vikings have added, you might want to sit down for this. A male cheerleader. Are you squirming yet, Reg?
Continue on, Billy Boy.
Okay, so, you know, to normal people, we would just be like, okay, who cares? This is not really a big deal. Whoever that male cheerleader is, we wish him well. We wish him the
I,
best.
I'm sorry. Don't male cheerleaders exist in high school? Like, I don't know.
Colleges too. I had friends who were male cheerleaders.
I'm sorry, dude. Like, to me is not anything new. Like, what? You know what it is, Bill? Because I did see some pictures of the Vikings cheerleaders. I wonder if they're getting pissy over the fact that the male cheerleaders are wearing a certain type of clothing that these conservatives don't like. I think that's the bigger problem, to them at least. The issue isn't having the male cheerleader. I'm sure if there was a male cheerleader wearing normal boys' clothes, quote unquote, um,
I
I
have
think
a
they'll be just
right here
I
of what
think they'll
he's.
be just fine.
Well, I'm gonna let you.
Well, if you go on the Athletic Yahoo, like they have pictures of these Vikings cheerleaders.
Like, listen, I
So
have what he's wearing, and I will gladly show it to you.
like I just I think that's the bigger problem to them.
Right.
It's not about
Okay.
the male cheerleaders. It's about what they look like.
Okay. Does that look bad?
No, not to
Absolutely
me.
not. It looks
I
like,
don't care. Like
my God, you know what? Oh my God. And just like the backlash from this, it's absolutely
like
ridiculous.
yeah. Well, and here's my big thing. If it's widely accepted across the country in high schools and colleges, why can't it be widely accepted in the NFL?
I agree.
Who says men can't be cheerleaders? Why is that a problem? But I
Welcome to
really do go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
welcome to today's episode of stupid people doing oh, getting mad over stupid things.
Yeah. I wonder if it's not necessarily the fact that they're cheerleaders, but what they're wearing. I think that's what the problem is. I think if it were a boy cheerleader or male cheerleader, excuse me, um, wearing normal, quote unquote, male clothes, I think they would be acceptable then. But that's not the case here. So I think there's another problem that they have that they don't want to say it.
You know what? If they
That's
don't
the
want to
bigger
say it,
problem.
do us a favor. You say it.
I think the gay culture is on their minds.
Well, just because, okay, I just want to say here something.
Yeah.
Just because a guy is a male cheerleader does not automatically make him gay.
But it's not but again, it's not the fact that he's a cheerleader. It's what they're wearing. You see how feminine that guy was? And look, I don't have a problem with it. I don't give a shit. But it's what they're wearing That's the problem to them, not the
Apparently,
cheerleader part, not the cheerleader.
apparently 12 teams, apparently 12 teams, apparently 12 teams, Reg, in the NFL have male cheerleaders.
And the Vikings have had male cheerleaders since 2018. So it's like now all of a sudden there's a
Why
backlash.
is this all of a sudden a big issue? I think,
It's not. It's about what they're wearing, the LGBTQIA culture that's instilled in today's world that these conservatives want to wash away. That's
what
the
I also
problem.
think it is? Because it's also, how we have those arguments about how men shouldn't be playing in women's sports. Like,
Hmm.
what does that have to do with this?
Exactly.
Like, people,
Exactly.
I'm going to read you some of the responses that
There,
from
there,
people.
there, 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 there has to be some equality here, man. Like, what are you talking about? If we're, I don't know, man. I don't know.
And you know what? This is just this is just, okay, a couple things here. One, okay, from some account that nobody cares about called Trad Wife Mom,
Hmm.
she said, "This is an official Minnesota Vikings cheerleader this year. I'm so done with this state."
Right.
Kevin Sorbo,
Hmm.
who was an actor, he used to play in Hercules, and now he just plays in either Christian films that, like, not a lot of people watch just before people get upset with me because they're not really a mainstream audience. So
Right.
Kevin Sorbo, unless you're like a evangelical Christian who watches those type of movies, he's pretty much irrelevant.
Right.
He said I've been a Viking fan all my life. I need a new team now. And you think politicians weren't gonna take a moment and milk this? Of course they were. Clay Higgins, a Republican congressman, said, quote, "I don't think the NFL actually watches conservatives to watch their football games." And I must
But
say,
that's
if
not
that's the
true.
NFL business model, they're doing very, very well.
No, nobody. That's bullshit.
This is
Nobody
about,
watches football. Everybody watches football for football. They don't watch football for male cheerleaders. They don't. No one cares.
because they're
No one
trying to
cares.
bring up, oh, the kneeling, the playing the lift every voice and sing, the lift every voice and sing before the game with the national anthem, with the how the demonstrations for Pride Month. You know what it is? It's like a lot of these people, they live in a bubble.
Yeah.
And what I mean is they think this is what keeps people up at night.
Yeah.
This is not keeping me up at night. Just because the Vikings have a freaking male cheerleader, that's not keeping me up at night.
And part of the problem is, you talk about bubble, being in this bubble. The part of the problem here, Bill, is that these people, they want to lecture us on what's right and what's wrong, but yet they don't talk to the people that they think it's affecting. Like, do you have a conversation with actual football fans about what's important, about what they watch, about whether or not there are these male cheerleaders or whatever it is, playing for your team? Like, do they like if this was never brought up at all, Bill, my question is, do people give a shit? The
Because,
answer is
like,
probably not. No one
and like, here's the
cares.
thing: other teams have male cheerleaders. High school has male cheerleaders. College has male cheerleaders. Why is this a
It's
big
not.
deal?
It's not a big deal. It's made a big deal for no reason by these idiots that just want to continue to stir up the pot because
Because
there's
they
so
think
much hate. Too much hate in this world. That's what it is.
this is what they think keeps us up at night. They think
You know?
normal folks like us
Yeah.
are actually like this is us when we're in bed. I can't believe the Vikings have a male cheerleader. This is horrible, man. Woke, woke. Normal people don't think like this.
Like the
If you want to
average
talk about
American doesn't care.
if you want to talk about if you want to talk about problems in this country, oh, we would need a year to get through everything.
Yeah. Uh, by the way, these problems have nothing to do with social issues.
No. And again, I really don't like getting political on this show.
Yeah.
But, that big beautiful bill that thousands of millions of people are going to lose health insurance. I think that's what's keeping people up at night more than if the Vikings have a male cheerleader.
Yeah. I really do think
People,
that
this is what if this is what makes you upset, then I think you
yeah,
seriously need a
it's
life.
yeah, the part of the issue is the elitists in this country. They want to distract you
With
from
stupid
everything
issues.
with stupid issues like this. You know, all I want to do is watch football. If you're going to distract me from my football with this bull crap, then you're making my life miserable by doing that. You know?
Well, let me ask you something, and I want to play devil's advocate here for a minute. Reg, what about those people who quit watching football because of the kneeling?
But
And
that's their but that was another thing. The that became a distraction too.
no, when they said, "Well, we don't want politics in our sports, we just want to watch football," like what was you
But
say to those people?
that's my point is that all these political stuff, everything distracts us from the actual sport and distracts us from real world problems.
And the irony is, when the kneeling was going on, that was trying to bring attention to real world problems.
Yeah. And look, I didn't have a problem with it, but I did have an issue with the fact that it became a huge spectacle.
It, I was having issues with it. I don't want to say I was not liking it, but then once I heard, okay, this is why we're doing it. We're doing it to protest.
Yeah.
We're doing it to protest inequality and police brutality. I'm like, okay, okay, fine, go right ahead. Freedom of speech. Do what you want. Just don't, as long as you're not hurting anyone, go right ahead. And like, that's the thing here, people. That is the thing. So yeah, that's what's keeping people up at night. That the Vikings
Crazy.
have a male cheerleader. Like, okay, bro. Okay, bro. If
Yeah.
that's what's keeping you up at night, please go get help. Go see a therapist. Go get some exercise. It's good for you. It's a beautiful day here in New York. Go for a nice run. Get off social media. It's good for you. It's good for your brain. Don't sit here and yell about things that people don't give a shit about. Go outside, enjoy yourself, enjoy this lovely weather we're having. Just,
Yeah.
again, this is not what's keeping normal people up at night. And I think that's why certain people are so out of touch. Either, like Reg said, elitist people or people who spend way too much time online, like the trad wife mom. I don't know anything about this woman. I don't know anything about this woman, but this is not what normal folks care about.
And it's time that we stop worrying too much about the nonsense and worry more about the sport.
And again, if you're gonna go crazy over and what that Republican congressman said, okay, and I just want to give a little disclaimer here. I'm not saying this about all conservatives, but say they don't want conservatives watching the NFL. No, we don't want assholes watching.
Yeah,
Listen, if you're conservative, I have no beef with you.
yeah.
I disagree with you, but I have no beef with you. But if you're gonna sit here and throw a tantrum over stupid shit like this, then, dude, it's time to grow the hell up.
Yeah.
It's time to stop throwing a tantrum over every time the NFL, any sports league does something you don't like, whether it be this, whether it be Pride Month, whether it be the racial injustice protest. Like every time they do something you don't like, stop throwing a freaking tantrum like a 4-year-old who doesn't get candy at the grocery store. Again, dude, can we go back to the good old days where we just talked about teams and batting averages and stuff like that? Can we just go back to those days?
Like the Jets and Giants this past weekend.
Yeah, and I would usually be bragging if this was a regular season game. I'd be bragging to Kingdom Come about Reds,
Mm,
but it was a preseason game, so I'm not going to do that. But dude,
yeah.
Jackson Dart looked good. I only watched a
Jackson,
little, and he did good the first game too. So is he the guy? Is Jackson
obviously,
the guy?
obviously, he was facing what the Jets, what, third team, 14, or
To be
whatever it is.
fair, yes, he was playing like the fourth string defense.
Yeah.
So
He wasn't playing anyone on the level of an Aaron Donald back in his heyday, right? So once you get into real live action football, that's where the real test is. Um, and look, no, but I agree with you. I think Jackson Dart so far has looked very good. I think the Giants offense has looked pretty solid. They have a good offensive line. They have a good pass rush. So kudos, the Giants so far have looked good. And look, I think Brian Dable, Joe Shane in the front office, they're both making the most out of this. What really is the last opportunity for them, right? So the hope is that they get it right. And that's what this is about for both these New York teams. It is about getting it right.
oh,
And
absolutely.
the Giants decided to stick with Brian Dable as their head coach. Joe Schoen is their football guy in the front office, and um, you know they gotta work things out the way that they gotta work things out. And so far they made the right moves.
No, I agree.
I'm calling it like it is, and hopefully it translates during the season. If the Giants have another season where they are stinking up the joint, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is for them.
I think it might be
Uh,
time to get rid of.
well, I mean, I, I don't know. I don't know. On the Jets side of things, that was a pretty sloppy game for them. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Aaron Glenn was pissed off. Thank God he was pissed off. Um, That's what we need in a coach. We don't need a Robert Saleh type who's gonna be like, okay, whatever. It's preseason. It is what it is. These players are doing good. No, they're not doing good.
I
So
agree.
I'm glad. So I'm glad that Aaron Glenn made it a point. No, no, no. This was bad, and we gotta clean it up. And they have one more preseason game to do it. So you know, clean it up.
Yeah, no, I think the Giants right now, Dart's looking good, but then again, you're playing against third string defenses right now.
Right. Yeah.
So I would
Um.
say let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Russell
if
Wilson looked good too, by the way.
no, he
So
did 60-yard pass, so I will give him that one.
yeah.
So maybe he's not a washed up has been.
Well, funny.
Maybe he's not a washed-up has-been. So, yeah, dude, we're only a couple weeks away from week one.
Yeah, man.
Ah, it's so wonderful, isn't it?
But before you know, it's gonna be Halloween.
And then before you know, it's gonna be Thanksgiving.
Uh, God. Um, let's do early season predict. I'm not saying record wise. Do we have meaningful football in the Big Apple in December? Yes or no?
Uh, hmm. Right now, I would say depends, but I would probably go with no because we got to see what. I know I sound like a broken record, dude. We got to see what happens. What do you think?
I'm gonna I'm gonna lean with a yes
Okay.
On the Giants side.
Well, thank you.
Jets side, I'm still skeptical about. I don't know. The quarterback play isn't that great. Um, Defense looks shaky. The number one defense looked shaky against the Giants' number one defense. So it's like, as offense, I mean, number one offense looked shaky against the Giants' number one defense. The number ones look terrible against the Giants ones. So, um, on the Giants end, I don't think they win that division, but the NFC field is pretty wide. So I think I don't know they make the playoffs, but I'm talking about just having meaningful football in December. Wouldn't that be nice to have meaningful football in
That would
December?
be lovely.
Like, come on now. I know you recently had that in 22. But
I did, and it was great.
but the Jets never have that. So, you know,
Now, but let's
let's
have
see what
meaning.
happens.
I want some meaningful football in December.
Yeah, we deserve it. We've gone through hell.
Yeah, I don't want to be depressed by Halloween.
Yeah, God. I've done that several times.
And then once we get to October, that's when Samantha, my lovely girlfriend, will be going like, "Is it Nick's season yet?"
God.
Yeah, so I think that's yeah, so hopefully there will be meaningful football in December in the Big Apple. So dude, I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, man. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have several shows that play out of this YouTube channel now. So please subscribe and click that button for all the notifications. Like this video. If you again you want to see more, the sportsinsanitynetwork.com is your place for the blogs. And then you can listen to all of our pods, whatever you get your podcasts. Uh, Billy Boy, have a good Monday. Have a good week.
Yeah, before we wrap up here, I want to give a shout out to my brother Dan. Today's his birthday. So
Yes,
happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. 27.
Brother Murphy. He's what?
27.
You're kidding me.
Remember when he first came in, when he came into our show when we were in college, he was like, I don't know, a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, like he was a kid. He was a little guy.
Now he's 27. He's getting married next year.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Time definitely flies, dude. But happy birthday, Dan. Happy birthday.
Happy
From
birthday,
one
buddy.
from one Dan to another. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'll tell him, Reggie. All right, so
Um,
that's our show for today.
yes. Um, Friday we have a top five. We won't tell you.
Yes, we're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, thank you to the dugout of Millwood. For Danny Boy Reginald, I'm Bill Corpus, Crispy Murphy. Stay safe and take care.
Peace and love.